Hey, everybody. This week's episode of Paddle Talk being sponsored by Racing in the Dirt. Parts, equipment, apparel, all for your off-road needs with over 30 years of experience in Wisconsin. Also, from parts such as wheel adapters, hub kits, brake hat kits, brake components, suspension parts, air filters, steering knuckles, axles, and parts, complete chain drives, and parts limiting straps, as well as parachute setups, all the way to ground up chassis builds, which is currently at over 50 and counting, all built from scratch in the Racing in the Dirt shop. They even have some ATV offerings and UTV offerings, which more to come, such as UTV cages, protective bars, UTV parts, and apparel. Visit them on the web at racinginthedirt.com. Find them on Facebook, or you can call the shop direct at area code 920-693-2000. That's racinginthedirt.com on Facebook, or you can call the shop direct, area code 920-693-2000. Thanks to Racing in the Dirt for sponsoring this episode of Paddle Talk.
It is me, Billy Teters, Damian Bowers, and John Sorg. Damian and John were at the Outlaw Series season opener at Cleves, Ohio, Gravel-Rama, IOK Four-Wheelers, also known as. Before we get into these results here, let's start with Damian. Damian, just without doing any spoiler alerts here, tell us about the weekend, how and what you saw from how the race was ran and everything like that.
Well, Friday, everyone was worried about the rain coming in Friday morning. Like just north of Cleves, where I live in Liberty, about an hour north, we actually had a pond in our front yard. So everyone was worried about the rain. That may have hindered our car count a little bit. But overall, the weather down there, other than being a little humid or the sun being a bit hot on Saturday, was gorgeous. We ended up having 14 cars attempt to qualify for King of the Outlaws. We had 10, 12 cars in the 350 and the 4.0 class, and then around 40 cars per class when it came to the Outlaw open brackets and the 450 bracket index.
Well, cool. How the track look after the weather and stuff? Everything went well?
Once they started putting water on it, it was fine. It was actually really dry when we started on Friday.
Okay. Well, John, you got anything to follow up with that about how the race went, how the track went before we get into the race results?
No, I have to agree with Damian. You know, the weather forecast coming in to the event was less than favorable. A lot of people sat out. Some sat back and waited till Friday and did make the trip and travel down. So it was good to see everybody. Race went pretty good. Like Damian said, the weather was great. And the racing was tight.
Yeah, we had a lot of outside people come in. There was Steve Butcher here, super stock mud racer. He runs the MRA, was originally planning to go and see you guys, Billy and Dave, with the Panama City race down in Florida with his Bronco. Ended up coming down and doing really well. First time ever running bracket or index outside of the Challenge in the Hills race, which a race coming up this weekend. And we also had a old MRA racer with Chuck Cordy bringing the Mud Missile out with his twin turbo big block setup.
Yeah, that was a neat setup. Unfortunately, that didn't work out so hot for him, but
yeah, I seen he lost a lot of parts.
Yes, he did.
His own words, I seen on Facebook earlier today, everything south of the cylinder heads is gone.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
It can be.
Yeah, that's pretty wicked. Don't want to be there.
All right, well, let's get into these race results here. The Pee-wees, the juniors, first place in Pee-wees was Parker Wilson, and second place was Braxton Sackstetter. So shout out to those youngins in the Pee-wees classes. And then juniors, we had Peyton Robbins, and in second place we had Aiden Boyce. So Peyton Robbins getting first place and Aiden Boyce getting second place in juniors. That's really cool. Girl power. Look at that. Getting first place in juniors. And then we'll start with Outlaw Index. Reminder of the rules for this class. I forgot.
Yeah, very reminiscent of the pro truck days, except without the truck rules. It's a 450 and faster index, dial into the 10th of a staggered pro tree.
Okay.
So say I'm dialed at 450, John's dialed at 40. I got a half second to get away from him.
Right. Okay. And then looks like our boy John Sorg came up just a little short. He got second place, John.
Yeah, that
Second
four
place.
thousandths of a second will break you really fast in this
Oh,
sport.
you
I'll
broke
tell ya.
out.
Oh yeah, it'll level you.
What did you dial? What did you dial?
370.
370. And who did you lose to in the final? And what were they dialed?
Matt Peel, and he was dialed in at a 360.
And Matt Peel was playing jockey this weekend.
Yes, he was. He took took the reins over from Justin Dees.
Yeah, Damian, a little bit about Justin Dees' car that Matt was driving. What do you got?
Justin Dees' car. I can't remember who exactly built it. I think it might be an Ellington chassis. I can't remember 100% for sure. Somebody will correct me on that. But it's been around since I was a little kid in late 90s, early 2000s. Dees, he bought it from George Banks, and he's been running it ever since. Used to be a killer 4.0 car when he first bought it with a mild big block. Now it's got an injected big block, runs in the 350 territory on the regular.
Well, Matt Peel's doing some winning, and it looks like he's now leading points for Outlaw Index class for the Outlaw Sand Drag Series. And then the Outlaw Bracket race, our boy John Sorg pulls through, gets the first place win in the Outlaw Bracket against Jason Fulmer, who was making people wait a little bit. Not too long. Not too bad. Only 6 seconds ain't too terrible. But John, how do you feel?
I felt great. Nothing like taking a good win and not breaking out. That helped.
What was your numbers on that pass? What did you dial? What was the light?
Gosh, I ran I dialed a 372, and I believe I ran a 77-ish. I pedaled it. So
wow. You pedaled it on the Volkswagen guy. How dare you?
Well, them guys got me by the heart. I love Volkswagen people and the Volkswagen cars. I grew up in that world. But
there's a Volkswagen behind you on your screen.
Hey, you know it, man. But when we go to stage, all that kind of disappears.
For sure. Well, congrats on your Outlaw Bracket win. You're getting the points lead as well.
Yes.
And then,
that was the main goal right there. And thank goodness I was able to do it.
Yeah. Well, good shit, Johnny boy. Good shit. 4.0 index. Well, Damian's got both first and second place winners on his screen right there. Steve Butcher and his Bronco getting second place, and then Damian getting first in the 4.0 index. Damian, tell us about the pass. How'd you feel? What'd you run?
I ended up running a 403. He ended up pedaling it just barely a bit too much for letting me by on the big end because he had me on the tree with a 499 to my 515. So not by much, but down there in the big end, he was dumping the brakes because he knew he could break out. This Bronco on cuts at 3,600 pounds earlier in the day ran a 394.
Oh, wow. I think it moved.
The super stock mud racers don't mess around. That's for sure.
And just to remind people, when you said 499 and 515 reaction times, he means like a 099 and a 115.
Right.
It's not. They're not both taking huge naps at the starting line.
Yeah, at clear
400. Yeah, 400 is perfect reaction time.
Damian, didn't that guy try to run you back for that money?
He wanted to run me heads up when he knew he had me outran.
That guy liked to talk some shit, man, up there in the under the pavilion.
All them super stock guys are like that.
Oh man, that was funny. I thought I thought it was like Street Outlaws up there or something.
That's
Definitely.
funny.
Run
So
him back.
you beat him in the 4-0 index, and he was like, "Run me again, heads up,
Yes.
no index."
Yes, he
But
did.
in a good way, not in a bad way. He was he was
Okay.
having fun.
It was fun, but he was loud and proud.
Yeah. Well, the Broncos badass,
Yes, it is.
Oh, totally, it is.
so he may keep running the series. You never know.
Yeah.
You
He
never
didn't
know.
even talk. That Bronco did it for him, man. That thing ran great.
350 index. First place winner, Austin Bullock. That's the twin turbocharged car, correct?
Single turbo.
What?
Single turbo 4.8.
Single turbo. Okay, is that the orange one?
No, well, it's silver now. It's called Change of Plan.
Oh, okay. And then second place winner, Ryan Kerr. In second place.
That's the twin turbo car.
That I knew that one was. Well, cool. There you go. Any notes on the 350 class, Damian or John?
Well, everyone in that class was running really close to that dial, and there was a few that were chasing it. Cody, he was trying. They're just rebuilt the rear end of the car from the accident him and John Sorg had last fall, so they were still
Wait a
trying to get
minute.
it going straight.
Are we talking about Cody Hembry?
They're trying to be a little bit nice.
All right, Cody. There's a shout out for you, brother.
Then Mark running the old Charlie buggy, the nitrous injected, fastest nitrous buggy in the world right now for Volkswagen, isn't it?
That thing, yes, and it's flying. It runs good. Well, actually, after it puked the rear end, he actually was against me in the staging or in the time trials when he did that.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I got to the end of the track. I'm waiting for him to go by me, and he didn't go nowhere.
So it's John's fault. You heard that. John's fault.
Volkswagens had bad luck against the V8 this weekend. I don't know why.
Because you're a traitor.
I still have Volkswagens here.
I seen that Upchurch, Monig, Tony Monig, Andrew Meyer, Jason Hayes, and Justin Dees also ran the class. Jason Hayes being out there with that green Jeep is awesome. I would definitely drive that thing.
That thing's awesome.
Lightweight with a big inch small block.
Well, shout out to Austin Bullock and shout out to Ryan Kerr getting first and second. Austin leading the points and Ryan Kerr just behind him. And then we get into King of the Outlaws, which is the 295 index or top eliminator, is where it's other known as sand drag racing, 300-foot sand or dirt drag racing. First place winner, Adam Rowe with the Volkswagen, getting it done. Second place winner, Kyle Farwick, who was also the #1 qualifier. We posted a video on our Facebook of Adam Rowe, first top eliminator pass of the year, runs a 295 with a 9. And then Kyle Farwick, his first top eliminator pass of the year, runs a 295 with an 8 and claims the #1 spot.
Right at the last
That's
second.
crazy. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And then they end up meeting each other in the final, and Adam Rowe showing that he's still the king of the Outlaws, getting it done. Some unfortunate breakage by Kyle Farwick as well. I don't know the whole story with that. But
I wish they could have both, been able to run them out. That would have been way cool.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
They were.
But Farwick
They were
dropped the
both on it
valve,
all
didn't
weekend.
help.
Here's hoping they are able to get it back together, especially for the coming Outlaws race. I don't see him. Unfortunately, I don't see him getting it back together for Shelton's. Unfortunately, you'll have that with this kind of breakage and at this level of performance.
for sure. I mean, that's when you push a small block to the limits like that, you see what can happen. I mean, I don't know pushing it to the limits because it's ran 260s, no problem. So,
But yeah, we also had Curtis Combs bringing out his new to him Jeep, the old West Gilmore Jeep. First
okay.
couple of passes with it, not quite get at full power yet. There's still a lot to learn there. Rota's fabrication, redoing the cage, kind of giving a little more safety. Kerr was running the Swamp Donkey. It was a good sized field. Like I said, 14 cars for the start of the year with all the weather issues that were predicted is really good. Unfortunately, Chuck Cordy and Joe Gorney not able to make the first round cars due to parts breakages.
No,
But
I was going to
Joe's
ask about Joe, my boy Joe. Oh,
it broke a rocker arm on his first pass, but he took off. It launched left, but he got back in and made it down the track with like a 330. It sounded lazy, so it breaking a rocker arm really does make sense. But it was nice to see it not just launch 6 foot in the air and unload all 4 tires like it has been known to do in the past.
well, yeah, they're gonna get it figured out. Joe and Tom are working hard at it. Believe in you, Joe. Believe in you, Tom. Keep going.
Agreed.
I seen Kathy Ellington did decent. You know,
I believe she was against Jim Lancourt in the second round and ended up red light.
well, she
Went
ran
398 red, so 2000s red.
Oh wow, dang. So but she was on the qualifying board with like a 308 or something, right? So
Oh yeah, they've got that car going. Like I said, their goal at Brookville the last couple of years has been to run in the twos.
well, they're gonna get there. They're gonna get there. It's gonna happen for them this year. I feel it. Maybe even in Michigan. You never know. But yeah, Adam Rowe getting the win. Kyle Farwick, second place. Hopefully
Now
hopefully they can get that thing back together for the second Outlaw race. And then Corey Gum. You know, Corey Gum was definitely throwing some swings in there to keep up with the competition, and Jam Lancour as well. These Volkswagens are badass, man.
Yeah, they are. They got them things tuned and flying right now.
They really do. Well, shout out to those King of the Outlaw top preliminary racers that are competing in this class, because it's a fun series and it's a fun class to watch.
Yeah.
They also
Definitely.
had a bracket race on Saturday that our correspondent Damian Bowers won. So shout out to Damian Bowers for winning the bracket race on Saturday. Who'd you race against?
Thank you. Stacy Presley, he's been around the East Coast for as long as I can remember, since I was a little kid. He had his parts in Jay Coons' little Dreher Jeep, used to be the Shocker Jeep. And he unfortunately went 350 red in the finals.
Oof.
So he went
little too early.
0.05 red.
Yeah,
just quick. But he was going for it. If you ain't red, you ain't trying. The old adage goes.
Exactly. Well, shout out to you. Did you win some money? How much money did you win?
After splitting that with Stacy, I came home with around $1,200.
Nice. Yeah, you split it with him
for the bracket. The guy behind me here, he didn't want to split, unfortunately, but you'll have that. He kind of looked at it kind of odd that we even offered to split, but that ain't the norm in their racing world.
It wasn't in Michigan until you guys invaded us from Ohio.
Sorg, did you and Matt Peel split?
We actually did. We split plus
what?
100.
Oh, I'm gonna give Matt so much.
Split.
We split
it's
plus
an 100 to the win.
John.
The first time I met Matt Peel, I think it was at one of the shake and bakes, and they said that the driver split after a certain round, and he looked at me, he was like, "Would you split?" And I'm like, "I don't think I would." He was like, "I wouldn't split either. That's crazy." So now I'm about to give Matt Peel a bunch of shit because he just split with you at this race.
He probably did it because it was a hometown boy out of town.
Yeah, but yeah, probably. But
it was Justin D's idea to go up. So it's funny because Matt's walking over to me and I said something to Matt and he goes, "Man, that's funny because D just said something to me about coming over to talk to you about splitting."
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, that was always funny. I never heard of splitting or doing anything like that until pretty much shake and bake, when what you're talking about, Billy, when those guys came up from Ohio and 2 of them were from Michigan and 2 were from Ohio or whatever, and they split. right there in the semis.
Right.
I'd never, really heard of that before. So that was new to me.
Yeah, that was crazy when they did that.
Yeah, but I mean, you think about it, if I recall right, they each walked away with $3,500.
Yeah, it was still a good bunch
I mean,
amount
that's
of
a
money.
chunk of money when you're in this sport. $3,500 goes a long way.
That ain't no lie.
That is true. Well, yeah. Splitting the pot. Well, I don't think you'd see in top eliminator though.
No, I
think-
I doubt
I
that.
wouldn't put it past it happening at Brookville.
It depends on who's in the final. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we'll say that.
I don't think Rowe and Farwick are splitting anytime soon.
No. They're-
That is right now probably the rivalry in top eliminator.
Yeah, and
definitely for the Outlaw series for sure. Yeah.
I was just hoping one of them didn't break. It was a good race, but having one break just kind of leaves an open end on it.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what, if that open bracket race was open to all vehicles and I made the trip up there, you're lucky that I didn't bring this mini bike up there and freaking just give it to you, Damian or John.
I can only see the handlebars, so I don't know what you got us into. For all I know, it's a pedal bike at this angle.
It might as well be. He might actually be faster on a pedal bike.
Well, you pedal it up to start, and then after a while, it goes on its own.
Then it's on its own.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's 12 horsepower of pure mayhem right there.
I love it.
Anyway, that was the Outlaw season opener recap. All right, race previews this weekend. Brookville is having their season opener, correct, Damian?
Yep, Friday night, the plan is for a test and tune, and then Saturday going into their normal bracket program that you'll see all year. You'll have a fast and a slow class set in after time trials, after everyone gets their dialing in. Right now, the weather is kind of looking iffy, but you never know around here. It could change. Just like Cleves, the forecast could change up until the day of. But if we do get the race in and we get the water, they're saying the track is going to be a biter. It's going to rip parts out of cars.
So whenever you talk about how you decide the fast and slow class after time trials, what do you mean by that?
Okay, everyone does their time trial passes. Everyone dials in. The computer takes every car's dial in and splits the field to where whatever, say we have 80 cars, each class will have 40 cars, and whoever is the middle two splits, say it'll be 451 and faster, 452 and slower. It's as simple as that, and that break will float anywhere from about a 460 to a 430 at Brookville at any given day.
So what happens if I'm in slow class at one race and then I'm in fast class at another?
It will not affect your points, as both classes, being that they will have the same number of cars, will have the same number of points available to them to earn. So both at the end of the night, both classes' points are put together.
So there's only one points champion?
Yep.
Oh.
And then also this year, they have added a team points. So
I've seen that. What is that?
Teams of 4. I will be on a team with Austin Bullock, Trent Sampson, and Scott Martin. We have teams with Chris Ferry, Dave Mergenthal, Keith Mergenthal, and Dave Ferry.
What's your team name? What's your team name? The Squirrels?
We haven't got a team name yet. We do not have a team name yet. I'm leaving that up to the other guys because they asked me to join them. It's
got to be the Squirrels. Tell them it has to be the Squirrels. It has to be the Squirrels.
I think we solved the mystery.
If it's
I'll
not,
let you try and convince them of that.
You're in my mind, you're the Squirrels. I don't care what they name it, you're the Squirrels. But yeah, that team racing's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, especially when you have a guaranteed that each race the same number of points are available in both classes. So some teams are going to be dominated by fast cars. Some teams are more leaning towards the slow class stuff. Our team, we have guys that are me and Scott Martin will float between the classes. Trent Sampson will more than likely be in slow. Austin almost always is going to be in fast as long as he's in his Jeep.
Well, there you go. That sounds exciting. That does sound pretty cool. Well, Brookville, fast and slow class bracket race, a points race. Hopeful for this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, right? This
Oh yeah.
Memorial Day weekend. What?
I was going to add, I will be working on Friday at the testing tune as everything holds out. I do know of a guy coming for our Pure Street gas record.
Oh, really? Is he driving it there?
No, he's hauling it up from North Carolina, actually.
North Carolina.
Yeah, his name is Brian Monroe. He runs up at Newtown regularly. It is a Jeep Willys pickup, 4-link ladder bar, set up all the way around, coilovers with a big LS on spray.
Okay. Well, if he gets it done, you have to take a video. You have to video that, and we have to post it as soon as it runs. You have to. We have to have content of that. That'd be sick.
If I'm looking forward, I'm hoping he is able to pull it off. It's going to be a tall order because, like, our record right now is at 440 in the mid 80s. The 60-foot time ain't much there, but it's hard to get something to 60 foot on a 35-inch street tire.
Well, we'll see what this thing can do, man. I'm excited already. I want to see a video of that. I want to see a video of that ASAP, Damian. I want to see it.
I'll get you some videos of it. It's going to be his first time out with the new combination, so no guarantee he'll get to spraying it this weekend, but he will keep me up to date on what it runs throughout the year.
We'll definitely get ready to take some pictures and make a Facebook reel of it because that's going to be awesome. So yeah, Brookville, Memorial Day weekend, season opener. Be there. Sounds intense. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited for it. The race that John's going to be at, right? Silverback season opener,
Yeah.
points opener points. Yeah, season opener for points. Yeah. Let me run that back.
Yeah.
The race that John's going to be at, Silverback Off-Road Speedway season opener, first points race of the season. John, where they got in store?
Sir.
Where they got in store?
I will be there.
Well, yeah, you're going to be there. Where they got in store?
It looks like when I looked at it today, test and tune will start at noon. It usually goes till about 5 or 6. Then they start some Friday night competition. It may start a little later than it might be at 7 till test and tune, but there'll be a 350 and an open bracket on Friday night. Saturday, gates open at 9, juniors start. Actually, gates open at 8, juniors start at 9, and regular program for race day following.
Yeah, and they got some top eliminator qualifying for Friday. Is that right?
Typically, yes.
Yeah, and then the classes on Saturday: comp, ATV, pro comp, pro index, pro truck, top eliminator, and open modified. Top eliminator. Once again, 295 index. Don't forget that.
Yes, sir.
Because we're going to repeat that a lot probably this year. And then after this year, we're just going to stop reminding everybody what 295 index is. So just please remember 295 index is top eliminator or king of the outlaws. Just remember that. So yeah, cool.
They also have that 325 class this weekend. There's some cars ready to go for that too. That's always that's starting to pick up. It's being a pretty decent class. So
what classes are you running in?
I am going to run an open mod comp and probably pro comp.
What is comp?
Comp is pretty much anything goes.
Is it a car? Or can anything run?
Car, ATV, anything goes.
Okay, so what's open modified?
It's the identical thing.
It's like the same thing.
Yes. That way you can double enter.
Okay.
Instead of allowing people to double enter in a class and stuff, they have 2 classes.
All right, fair enough. I like it. What you said, okay, what's pro comp?
Pro comp is pro tree and staggered dial.
Oh, so it's just the same thing. Is it open? Like there's no ET break?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It is 449 and faster.
Oh. Okay, for pro comp 449 and faster. Okay.
Yes.
Pro index, what is that?
That's the 325 heads up index.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, you got everybody remember that.
Yeah.
Pro index
Pro
is
index. We don't have
325
to repeat
index.
it.
We're not going to repeat it anymore after this year. 325 index is pro index. I might just start saying that from now on everywhere I go.
You're gonna have to get a WSD and dictionary going.
And then yeah, we have to. And then ATV is just an open bracket race for ATVs on a sports
Correct.
light, I'm guessing. And then pro
Yep.
ATV is just the same thing on a pro light.
Correct.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I just learned all the Silverbacks classes, and I hope everybody else did too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, the Sand Invitationals Memorial Day weekend at Silverback Off-Road Speedway in Mears, Michigan. We didn't say this. Brookville is in Brookville, Indiana. Franklin County four-wheelers. That's where they are racing at this weekend. Damian said something about a man from North Carolina who usually races at Newtown that's going to Brookville. That reminded me that Newtown is hopeful to race this weekend. They are having some weather concerns, it looks like maybe, but they are looking to run this weekend. They have a truck bracket race. Gates open at 3 p.m. Practice runs at 4 p.m. They get 3 time runs. And then it's a $60 entry fee, 70% payback. First round re-entry for $20. And there you go. They got a street class, a modified class. What's street class here? Streetable vehicles with DOT tires, no cut or modified tires. Vehicles must have full body dash and all glass. Lexan back glass permitted for roll bars. No trans brakes. There is no time limit in this class. Vehicles do not need tags or insurance. How would you get it there then? You're just going to put a Toyota Camry on a trailer and go race it? I guess. I mean,
Apparently.
Well, they have a lot of vehicles in that area that are labeled farm use that do not have plates and insurance in Virginia. So they're used on the farm, but they can't really be driven on public highways. You can take them short distances, but not take them on the main roads.
Okay. Well, cool. And then they have a modified class. Vehicles must run 599 or faster. No delay boxes. Anything else goes. Well, you're leaving that pretty wide open whenever you just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But that sounds awesome. They will have a point series, register for this point series, and these 2 classes will have their own series. So there you go. Newtown Dragway, truck races. We should get out there for at least one of those sometime. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's a nice track. Really nice facility. Willard's a good guy. Always had a good time down there.
It was a blast when we went out for the import versus domestic. I wish I had the money to drive the 10 hours, take the race car and go run with them to really support them. But
no kidding.
Unfortunately, that's a lot of money to just travel.
That is a ton of money. But maybe one of these times we can get out there. I also heard that Willard doesn't run run the track stuff anymore.
That's what I heard.
It's 2 other people now, a husband and wife who ran asphalt or something. Now they run it. I can't remember who told me that, but I gotta look that up. I can't remember who told me that, but yeah, Willard's not really running the track anymore, but he's apparently trusting some people who are maybe doing a good job, hopefully. Right?
Here's hoping.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Newtown Dragway. If you're close to Newtown, Virginia, you want to go racing with your truck or your Toyota Camry that's not tagged or insured, you know where to go. Just look up Newtown Dragway. We're also going to get into right now. We'll do Atoka Motorsports Park, Heartland Nationals. I will be there, bringing you full coverage for this race, and it's going to be awesome. I'm also racing in Pro 3 ATV with this awesome mini bike right here. Hoping to run faster than the 860s this time. It's
Can you do live feed going down the track, Billy?
I will try my very darndest. I might. I will
That would
try.
be epic.
I will try. I don't know how. I might have to. You know what? I will. Yeah. I'll get a shirt that has a. I'll get
bungee
a.
strap
Yeah.
sorry. Bungee
No.
strap your phone to your helmet.
Oh, I was gonna just get a shirt that has a front pocket and just like slide my phone in my pocket.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, just cut the hole out for the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trim the hole for the camera.
Yeah. I could zip tie it to my mini.
Wait a minute, Billy. You better be wearing long sleeves when you do that.
I will. I'll be wearing pants and everything. Don't you
All right.
get your panties in a bunch. But I'll
Dude,
probably zip tie my
I do
phone
not
right
want to
here.
see you roast and burn that thing.
He'll be overdressed compared to half the field there, probably.
Oh, definitely.
You know what? You're
at least
probably right. I
field.
could wear pants with my regular shoes and probably be overdressed, but it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay because hopefully later on they'll do something. But right now, Harlan Nationals, and I'm going. And it's gonna be a great time. What they got on the docket Friday, they got a bunch of test and tune. I think it's like from 12 to 5. Yeah, it's 12 to 5. They're gonna do that Pro One car Friday night bracket race, 470 and faster, Pro Tree, $100 entry fee, $50 buyback. First round losers only. Buyback money goes back to the track, and I can't remember how the payout works for that, but it's a $100 entry fee, so it can't be that bad. It may be 100% payback. I'm not too sure. Top eliminator, unlimited ATV, and top alcohol. And top eliminator is a 295 index class, and just in case we don't forget that. Unlimited ATV is exactly what it sounds like it is. 4 or 3-wheeled vehicles, power sport engines only, running heads up. Unlimited ATV, heads up, run what you brung, ATV class. And then we got top alcohol, which is almost a dying breed at this point. But there's still a handful of them out there on the West Coast, even some here in the Midwest. Top alcohol. I'm sure Randy Kimbley, also shout out to RNS Collision. Randy Kimbley is sponsoring WSDN content for this race. Appreciate him. I'm sure he's going to have a trick up his sleeve to go out there and possibly do some crazy try to reset the track record kind of stuff with his one of many top alcohol cars. You never know what Randy's going to have up his sleeve. And his wife's just a killer anytime she goes racing. So look for somebody with the last name Kimbley to podium at some point during this weekend. But anyway, they're gonna have a quick 16 quads class as well, $100 entry fee. So that'd be something for the fast ATVs to do on Friday night.
Now, is that heads up or an index class?
That's more likely a bracket race of the 16 quickest ATVs on the property.
Okay.
Just a sport light bracket race. Oh, they might actually make it a pro light now, because I forgot they voted to make their Pro One ATV class at Atoka a pro light. So, and then they'll have 2 rounds of qualifying on Friday for top eliminator, unlimited ATV, and top alcohol. Saturday they'll have Pro 2 quads, Pro 3 quads, and juniors. They'll run out all those classes until they're done. They'll do time runs for Pro 1 cars, Pro 1 quads, and Pro 2 cars. Those classes will run on Sunday. They'll do 2 more qualifying passes for top eliminator, unlimited ATV, and top alcohol. And then whenever they're done with Pro 2, Pro 3 quads, and juniors, and then after the last 2 qualifying section, or no, excuse me, they'll end the night with the 2 qualifying sessions for top eliminator, top alcohol, and unlimited ATV. But they'll also have a sport comp cars class and a sport quads class where they're just open bracket trophy races, basically. And then they'll have the index classes, 350 cars and quads, 380 cars and quads, 40 cars and quads. Each of those are $100 entry fee, 80% payback. Sunday, Pee-wees run in the morning. They will have Pro 1 cars, Pro 1 quads, and Pro 2 cars run another time trial, and then they'll run those classes out. And then they'll also run out the premier classes, top eliminator, top alcohol, and unlimited ATV. That will basically how your weekend goes. And just a side note, my boy Caden has won the Pee-wees class at Atoka Heartland Nationals the past 2 years. And we're going for a three-peat. Shout out to my boy Caden. He's a stud. And hopefully we can get that three-peat.
Yeah.
He's
Best of luck to you guys on that.
Thank you. He's I'll tell him that you said that. He's looking forward to it. We haven't had much seat time this year with him. But he's ready to go. He's a competitor. He's a champion at heart. So he'll get it done. They got some money going around at this race too. Payouts for this race. Saturday, Pro 2 and 3 quads, 16 or more. First place guaranteed 500, second place guaranteed 300. If there's less than 16 in the class, it's 100% payback. Same thing for the juniors, but if there's more than 16, it's first place 400, second place 200. Pro 2 cars must have 16 or more for first place 500, second place 300. Pro 1 quads, 16 or more. First place 1,000, second place 500. Pro 1 cars, 16 entries or more. First place $1,500 plus $500 of sponsored money. So that's $2,000 for Pro 1 cars if there's 16 or more on Sunday. Second place, $500. Semifinals, $150. And they always average like 24 on Pro 1 cars. So they're going to have plenty to cover that. This says Pro 1 cars, if there's 32 entries, 2,000 to first, 750 to second, 200 to third and fourth. And then top eliminator, unlimited ATV, and top alcohol are all 100% payback classes, which I'm sure they're all around like $200 entry fees. So there you go. If you're close to Atoka, Oklahoma, and you got you want to look for somewhere to go watch some racing or do some racing, and you got anywhere from a stock quad to a 2,000 horsepower engine on the back of a sand dragster, you know where to go. Atoka Motorsports Park, Atoka, Oklahoma, Heartland Nationals.
All right, and just to kind of finish off for some of the stuff going on this week for the car world, especially, I mentioned a lot of it last week, giving kind of an explanation on how their races run, their payouts, and everything. But this weekend is also the Challenge in the Hills, Parsons, West Virginia, Tucker County four-wheelers. Rain, snow, shine, they don't care. They're going to race. Friday, sand, dirt drags. They'll run whether there's mud or snow on the track, but they're going to go for it. Saturday or Sunday, they have their mud ball. So if you're looking for something where you're going to get to race no matter what the conditions, that's the place to be.
City and state, do you know it?
Parsons, West Virginia.
Okay, Parsons, West Virginia, Challenge in the Hills this weekend. Let's talk about the race that I am putting on along with James Shelton. Shout out to my sponsors, Team Cole Racing, Hayes Trowel and Dolly, Hayes Design and Fab, Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series, and National Junior Dirt Drags. Really appreciate these guys for coming on board and helping us out, put on this race at Shelton's Dirt Drags in Stanford, Kentucky. Full size and cars race. Friday, we got a trophy bracket race, 450 index, some 295 index qualifying. And Saturday, we have a kids bracket race to start things off. And then we're going to get into time trials for our money bracket races, our 40 index and 350 index for Saturday. And then we'll end out qualifying for 295 index, and we'll also run out 295 index on Saturday. We're paying attention to the weather. If anything needs to be called or changed, we will announce that as soon as possible and give everybody plenty of notice. So But I'm really looking forward to this. Looking forward to this track. I think James is really excited as well. I talked to him earlier today. We're recording on Tuesday, the 21st, and he says he's capable and confident, if as long as it's not too saturated and too wet, that he can get the track worked enough to have this race go on. So I'm excited. I'm ready for this thing.
Definitely looking forward to try and make it down there, try and help provide some coverage for the WSTN stuff, because I know you're going to be busy with Shelton's helping run that race.
Yeah.
I hope the car count is really good. I know it's going to be kind of tricky because it's kind of in a no man's land for sand drags for the car world right now.
Oh, it's a fast track to go to, and if we can get to this
Definitely.
track maybe just like once a year, something like that, and get cars going back there, maybe it'll inspire people closer around to start building more cars. You never know.
I really do hope that we can get the car crowd back and growing in Shelton's and Grayson. Those two tracks, such beautiful facilities, great surfaces to run on, both have a lot of potential to grow. And I look forward to hopefully seeing more cars, trucks, side by sides in those areas out at the tracks.
Yeah. Well, John, do you think that you are gonna come down to Shelton's for some racing?
I wish I could, but
Well, now I'm just gonna cut this out now. I'm just
cut it out. Yeah, yeah.
I had to get you involved. You look like you're about to sleep.
Oh my God, I'm tired.
It was a long weekend, wasn't it?
It was, and then I got home and I had to work for I went to Indiana and did my mom's yard work for a couple days.
Oh,
My way
I was
home.
saying,
So
at
I
least
got
you
home
didn't
last
have to go to
night.
work on Sunday, but no, I had to work on Sunday too. So
You young whippersnapper, get in shape, boy.
Oh, so I got home late yesterday, mowed my yard, and then it rained and didn't get half the shit done. But
Let me say one more thing, and then we can end it.
okay.
Well, yeah, like I said, really appreciate our sponsors. Once again, National Junior Dirt Drags, Hayes Trial and Dolly, Hayes Design and Fab, Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series. Big shout out to Team Cole Racing. Shelton's Dirt Drags, 1 Yates Road, Stanford, Kentucky. We got plenty of classes. If you got a full size truck, if you got a sand rail, if you got a sand dragster, if you got an altered, anything, bring it out, and we got a class for you. So we'd love to have you guys at Shelton's Dirt Drags.
Totally.
Welcome back. We are with a very, 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 very special guest. We are with Shane Ohlrogge with racinginthedirt.com. And we are so excited to have him on. I was really looking forward to meeting you in Florida, but this is just as good. But Shane, could you introduce yourself to our viewers?
I'm Shane with Racing in the Dirt. Been racing for 13 years now in pro class. Modified was basically what I've been driving most common, which is a nitrous car, dragster style. Run rear engine and front engine cars, Outlaw Pro Stocks. So I've kind of done a bunch already. With the business, we do anything from parts to chassis, turnkey rides. The custom billet parts is kind of Scott's main thing. He loves doing that. So
Yeah, I've talked to Scott a lot these last few weeks, actually last month or so. And first of all, I want to say thank you guys for coming on board as a season-long sponsor. We really appreciate it, and we will do our justice for you guys. And but let's talk about you real quick. When did you start racing, and how did you get involved with racing?
I've been around this my whole life. Basically since I was a little kid, always at the track. I think I was only a couple of months old the first race I was at. Hell, I didn't even think it was a couple of weeks. 2011 was my first pro race. Before that, we did dirt drags, but we did it with four-wheelers, ATV sports with paddles on it. And I did that. And then once I turned 18, I was racing motocross, and Dad gave me the opportunity to get in the rail and take over the keyboard and start tuning on that thing. And we went to nitrous, and it's just evolved from there.
That's awesome. So the old man kind of said, "All right, get off that dirt bike, hop in this mud rail."
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how old are you? How long have you been racing? How many years would you say?
I'm 31, so 2011 and now, so it's 13 years.
Nice. 13 years mud racing. That's pretty cool. I'll cut out all this dead time. Sorry about that. How did racing in the dirt get started? And how did Scott kind of just like go all in on it and bring you on board later, or is there somebody else involved I'm not aware of? But like how did racing in the dirt get going? And obviously you guys are doing very well.
It started out, I don't know exact what year. I'd have to look back. I think probably 2006, somewhere in there. Dad started doing just small parts. He was working full time as a machinist, and then kind of started with the wide 5 adapters, and kind of evolved, went into cutting tires, and then just people started asking for more and more. Wheelie bars and suspension setups, and at that point we only had a super stock truck when he first started, which was just a NA lease from truck. And the business kind of went until I turned 18. It was about when I was turned 17, so that would have been 2010 is when I started full time with it. Before that, I was just doing farm work and stuff like that. So,
Well,
but once we jumped in full time, Dad, he always kind of had a dream for it, and I guess I kind of took it to the extreme nowadays.
yeah. I bet working in the shop beats working on in the field, right?
Oh, for sure. It's good when you work for your passion. That's always everybody's goal. But at the end of the day, it's still work. You got to get it done. You got to do the best you can, and the drive is there. That's what makes it fun.
Talk about the kind of the parts and the axles that you guys kind of provide from racing in the dirt.
So we don't do a lot of the rear end stuff, but front end housings, the Dana 30s, that's kind of our bread and butter. We came out with that fabricated 30 with a billet center trunk with it and pinion support, and fits CJ style, ring and pinions in it. And we got our lightweight inner shafts, and then our billet hubs and fab knuckles for it. And so once we did that, saves a ton of weight for anybody trying to run 4-wheel drive. So we've even done 2-wheel drive stuff with that, straight axle with just the knuckles on it, and brake still.
What about the tires and wheels that you guys offer? What do you guys? How do you guys? Well, yeah, just tell us about those tires and wheels.
The tire, most commonly fronts would be the V cuts. We used to do the desert, track stuff and 1200, 1450. We kind of got away from that. Because we can get a V cut, actually lighter than what we get a desert track at that time. Rear boggers typically. We deal with the paddles and scat track, so we can make whatever we want there. Different styles on the bogger cuts and the V cuts and stuff. So kind of been doing that for a long time.
Yeah. Well, talking about racing in the dirt real quick, tell us about that. I think you kind of just mentioned it a little bit before. Tell us about that beautiful build that you guys just unveiled. And that thing is sick. That thing is awesome. Just tell us a little bit about it. I don't
So we built that for the George family, George Farms. Rick is the owner of that one. He's going to be driver. It is a big 959 Albert racing engine in it with a bunch of kits on it. Snyder Motorsports Slenko in it. Our chain drive front end, all the works, Holly EFI. That's just a clean build. I mean, I had a friend do the body work on it and got basically every flaw out of it. I mean, it's a World Wheels type paint job on it right now. So it came out just as good as we could ever ask for it.
Oh yeah, that thing is gorgeous. The thing is awesome. We are also joined by John Sorg. I forgot to mention that. John, you got any questions for Shane?
Yeah. Can you talk about the MRAs as a series and the tracks that they go to as well?
MRA kind of has a variety of everything. I mean, we go from, tight clay base, topsoil mixed track like Mississippi to like a loomy soil of Missouri. We go there twice this year. Florida's a sand type track, which is really a beautiful facility also.
Yeah, can we talk about how bummed out we are about Florida real quick? About Florida not happening? Because
we'll get there in August.
I was so excited, man. I was so excited for that.
That's terrible when you have a nice trip like that to go to and a big race, you get pumped up and then it does that.
Oh, we had so much
Not cool.
Works. We even had parts and driver suits and all sorts of stuff sent to Florida to get tested on Thursday, and a lot of spokes in the wheel. And we just got the wind taken out of us on Tuesday. And we heard that, but it is what it is. We adapt, and
yeah,
the series will still have 5 races, which is good.
Absolutely.
It seems like the weather's been a big hinder on our sport this spring, for sure.
Yeah, it's just the last couple of years in general. Weather's just been different patterns, but
yeah.
So, but MRA in a general is strong. I mean, there's some new builds going on all over the place that are just coming out. People evolving, making stuff faster. Not necessarily just bigger motors, it's people getting efficient.
Does a lot like us. I mean, a little bit different services and stuff, but a lot alike in another way.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you said Florida is a sand track, right?
It is. It's a loose sand.
Is it pretty much pure sand, like a beach type sand?
It is. It's I wouldn't necessarily call it a sugar sand, but it's a granulated sand. Yeah.
Yeah.
The wetter it is, the faster it got. That's
yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. It was at is it 200? Were you ran 200 foot there, right?
Yeah, we ran 200 foot there. Plenty shot down. I mean, that's dual guardrail both lanes and electrical boxes and every all the way through the pit, so everybody gets to plug in. No generators running. I mean, that's just
wow
facility there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Cool. That's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. You could take a following like the MRA across the country down to Florida and still get a good following. So like people are like really excited for the MRA this year, it seems like, and it seems like they always have been.
It's been for years. Yeah, just good car counts. We had a couple of years there just short, around through COVID, but I mean, we bounced back from that and it's just taken off again.
Well, good. We like to see that. And Isaac will be at the Cook Station, Missouri race, the first race on June 15th weekend.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Cool to have your guys' coverage there. That's gonna be big for our sport too, and hopefully we can help you guys out, get some more followers and eyes on what you guys are doing.
Great.
Also.
Yeah, kind of like what you guys were talking about before we started recording, and something that me and Scott and you as well have talked about plenty of times, just kind of combining both of the sports and having people kind of venture into both and see what you can get and just growing this thing.
There's differences, but at the end of the day, it's still basically essentially the same sport. I mean,
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Mud, sand, dirt. I mean,
the format might be a little bit different, but yeah, the challenges are all there.
That's right.
Yeah, you guys don't have a bracket racing class at the MRA, do you?
No, they don't have a bracket class right now.
Oh man,
they used to have a consistency type class, and
yeah,
I don't remember what year that kind of fell away a little bit, but even that would be cool to have come back.
Right.
Yeah, consistency is always a different class. But yeah, MRA this season, kind of, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but like each class, like just kind of tell us a little bit about it, and like just like give us a name or two in each class, like who to look out for this season in each class of the MRA. We can start wherever you want to start.
You can start at the bottom and go up. I mean, they're all pro class, but super stock is more or less the entry level class, I guess, for the pro association like that. They'd be the leaf sprung trucks, big NA motors, typically cast block, and I don't remember what the deck height rule is on it, but single carb and have to have factory firewall in them. And there's a lot of good people on that one. I mean, Jason Hodgkin's been running that one for years. You got Kelly Albertson and Joe and Daniel Carrier with the Troublemaker truck. I mean, there's just so many in that class too. Guys just up and coming. Hunter System starting to fly now. So that's the leaf sprung class has come a long ways, and it's a heads up class, so it's elimination style with qualifying.
That's awesome. With qualifying? So how
Yeah,
many passes do
they get a
get?
qualifying pass that sets the ladder, and then they go single limb after that.
All right. Well, cool. So you still guaranteed 2 passes at least. So yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
Yep. And then you
That's
jump in.
That's each day, right? I'm sorry.
They only run that one typically on Saturdays of a 2-day show, on a Friday, Saturday show.
Gotcha. Okay.
Friday night usually is all Pro Stock, Mod Paddle, Open Cut. And then flip flops, you got, Super Stock, Pro Stock, Mod Cuts, Open Paddle. Pro Stock is, big inch NA motor type class, 2x3 frame. That class again, that's another one that's building steam again. You got a couple guys that are really taking the bull by the horns. Randy George with a Jeep, and he's got a big motor. You got Greg Booker, he's the one that owns the track in Missouri there. He was flying last year, setting records, won championship. Just all the way back. I mean, there's just a bunch of them starting to go. I know Christy Nagley should be coming back out this year. But I think the one class this year it's going to be start busting at the seam is that Outlaw Pro Stock. You got guys just trying to fly. I mean, you're taking these big motors, nitrous motors, blown motors. I haven't seen a turbo yet, but that could be out there. And then you got Pro Chargers are allowed in it. There's a couple of them over in Michigan. Hopefully they come play MRA. I know they're legal for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they've been setting records in the sand stuff.
Yeah, you're talking about Todd Bilsma with
Todd and Jason Vanderwall playing over there.
Yeah, Vanderwall. Yeah.
Yeah, the guys are getting going. They got their stuff together, that's for sure. But yeah, it's just cool to see that class evolve. I mean, it started as just a nitrous motor class, and they kind of opened up the doors a little bit and allowed full tube frame in it, just with the full bodies and weighing, depending upon what motor plant's in it, the weights, and so them guys are all duking it all. That's just fun to watch.
Yeah, it is.
Dude, I'm excited. I can't wait to get to Nebraska in July.
We brought that 36 out this last weekend, and it run good. And then Harrison brought their new blower truck out. Seeing they made a couple of good hits on it. That's awesome to see too. So
you talking about the one that blew the doors off?
Yeah, that'd be the Harrison boys.
That thing was awesome.
So Kevin's their dad. He's won lots of championships. I think he's got 2 years in a row with double down and cuts and paddles. So they know how to make stuff fly.
Literally, the doors literally flew off. That was insane.
It happens.
Well, dude, yeah. MRA this season. Everybody get excited for that because Isaac will be at that June 14th and 15th at Cook Station, Missouri, and Upper. How you say that? Merrimack,
yeah.
Merrimack, okay. Upper Merrimack Dirt Drags at Cook Station, Missouri, and then I will be at the Thunder at the Pits at Burwell, Nebraska, July 12th and 13th.
Yeah, so it's a good race as well. That's one that Clayton Alcott mainly puts on there, and they got their local association that races after the MRA is done too, which is fun to watch. That's a cool track. That's a different type track, a little more topsoil, and I guess it's more dry. Hopefully it rains a little bit there before we get there this year.
Right. Well, sweet. I'm excited. Let's kind of move forward here with this interview. And we were talking about MRA. And we were talking about 200 foot, 300 foot, kind of combining the worlds a little bit ago.
Let's talk about 300 foot.
What do you got, John?
Let's talk about some 300 foot stuff. What are some of your goals there for Shane for what you guys got in the sand world?
I don't really have goals yet. I want to get out there and start playing. I mean, we're moving to a different combination. I've always had nitrous cars and going to a screw blowing Hemi deal.
Oh, nice.
So it'd be fun to play in sand. I want to go 300 foot and hopefully.
Yeah, you're gonna like it.
Some of that top alcohol stuff. See, them records have been up there a long time. Maybe try to chase that. I don't know.
Shameless plug. we'd love to have you at Thunder Valley anytime.
That's on the bucket list here. That's for sure.
That wasn't shameless.
It's
Hey,
not.
it's a beautiful looking track.
Thank you. But yeah, a screw blown Hemi. So you sounds like top alcohol. Is that what you said?
That's what we're looking at. Yeah.
Wow. Top alcohol record, 239. Wow, that would be insane.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're
it
looking
would.
at- I mean, I'm building this car to run with the best in the MRA Association. That's 200 foot, and you got to go sub 19. I mean, if you're going 200 something, you're not really going to be placing right now.
That's
Right.
insane.
You got 3 guys that have been under the 2-second mark now, and there's a lot chasing it right now. And that guys are to put my hat in that ring is going to be hard to do.
I mean, if two O's can't win it in a 200 foot, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Guys are running 1.9 seconds in 200 foot. That's insane. What's the mile per hour in that kind of?
I've seen a bunch different on the board. I've seen 122s, 127s on the board, 200
Wow.
That's.
I mean, a lot
That's
of the
awesome.
class is going to be around that 115 to 110.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we've actually talked in the past about you guys running. It was at that time it was your nitrous setup, but that car that you were running, I can't remember the name of it at the top of my head.
I had it as deranged, and it turned into Scream now. And
Right, yeah.
Greg and Carlos own it, run it now, drive it.
Yeah, and when we talked a couple years ago, you guys talked about running that car in top eliminator 295 index class. So
Right. Yep. Which I think we could, a combination like that. I think we could do, not have to have them on kill like we do with the MRA. I mean, usually we have that stuff on the ragged edge trying to run so fast. Well, to be able to back it off and do some rounds, that's feasible. I mean, that's a lot of guys might not do that, but the index, I guess that's where it makes it obtainable.
yeah, and you get more passes than 300 foot. I mean, 200 foot still awesome, but you definitely get more passes when you come.
More
to
speed
I'm a
time.
heads up racer. I'd rather be racing heads up all day, every day, but
Yeah,
with the format we got right now, and hopefully come up with some more races that we can do heads up stuff with this fast stuff and see where that goes too.
yeah. Off the topic of the list of topics we had once again, you put a feeler post out there one time, kind of about a heads up 300 foot race with like MRA style classes, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So we've actually done it before. Me and Dad have put races on with some friends and that up, and we used to have a local club, but we did it at Crandon, Wisconsin, at where they do the brush runs.
Okay.
So we would actually leave from just after their first jump at the starting line. We ran their whole front stretch. So we've done it before, 200 foot heads up stuff, and kind of was looking to bring that back. I've just been busy with work and builds and stuff like that. I haven't been able to kind of grab a bull by the horns and promote yet, but for sure, I think we're going to try to plan something for next year and really get the money on the table and see where that lands.
Oh, yeah. Was your post was about the 300 foot stuff? You're talking about you're going to do a big 200 foot race next year?
Yeah, I think that's what we're looking at, to keep the MRA guys, the dirt and mud guys, to be able to run because everybody's set up 200 foot. So if we did something and threw it 300 foot, a lot of people would throw some red flags and not want to do that right away. But if we start doing some 200 foot stuff, well, then it opens the door for 300 foot stuff, and maybe it'll evolve.
Well, and as I said before, shameless again, we'd love to host that race at Thunder Valley Sand Drags.
We'll see what we can make happen for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, now back on track here. What are some of the differences you've seen between 200 foot and 300 foot mud, sand, dirt drag racing?
I guess the main difference is just the difference in chassis, as far as a lot of the altered stuff, the 2-wheel drive stuff. You guys got a lot of that, and the dragster 2-wheel drives, where everything in, mud is always going to be 4-wheel drive, and dirt. All the rules dictate us to have 4-wheel drive, working 4-wheel drive. That's the main differences. But as far as running these cars and everything we're doing, it's all the same after that.
So that screwball and Hemi car you're gonna build is gonna be 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, it'll be 4-wheel drive. Yep.
That's insane.
Yep. No, everything will be MRA legal, but yeah, we plan on running 300-foot stuff.
So that means you could go after the Firewick record,
What is that?
right, Billy?
No, that dude from Dubai has that record.
Oh, that's right.
The 4-wheel drive record.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like a 250 something. I can't remember.
I knew I messed that up.
No, is that a door slammer type record, or is that a dragster record?
It's a 4-wheel drive record.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
I figured that'd be something you'd be after.
It's possible.
Keep talking about that while I look for it.
Yeah, what'd you say it was, Billy? A 250 what?
I'm looking.
Either way, 250 something is absolutely insane. Even that small block with Kyle Firework running 260s is nuts.
Them guys over in Dubai, I mean, they got some fast stuff though. And them,
Oh, my bad.
Oh, yeah.
2.672.
okay.
267.
Farwick has a 4-wheel drive mile per hour record at 124.41.
Okay.
So it should be. I mean, it's possible. It's obtainable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seems like it. Seems very so. Yes.
I mean, for us to run, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, it's just either unlock a hub or pull a drive shaft. We could do that too, but
Right.
4-wheel drive, because them things. I mean, our cars in general. I mean, with the parachutes and that, they're pretty calm coming down on the shutdown, but 4-wheel drive, you get a little overdrive in it. They just pull straight too. I mean, that all helps.
Right. Yeah, I can't wait to meet you guys and hang out at the racetrack and stuff and cross paths and get some of the mix going between racers. That's going to be cool.
Right. That's the main thing with the MRA. It's such a family type racing organization. I mean, you walk around the pits and anybody will give you a tool, a part, advice.
That's like us. That's why I think it'll be really good.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I feel like I
Yeah,
can
like
get
you
that
said, you
vibe
can-
kind of any dirt, sand, mud track race
Yeah.
event, and like you just like everybody's just so willing to help other people, and it's actually kind of cool to see that.
Yeah. I mean, you get around the circle track world and that, and you guys don't like. I mean, you get some of them that'll help you, but they're typically not like that.
Right.
No, they're not going to tell you anything either.
No.
Right.
Yeah. Well, cool. One difference that I'll be kind of blatant about, safety. You guys take safety pretty damn serious.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the organization, I mean, that's the direction they're going, is just making everything. I mean, nobody wants to see anybody get hurt, driver, spectator. So everything's aimed toward both. The safety just in the last, I'd say 5 years or so, has gotten serious, and got to have blower restraints, drive shaft guards, seat belts up to date, helmets, head and neck, stuff like that. Yeah, the stuff costs substantial, but what's a life worth? That's
Right.
That's the main thing.
So have you guys lost racers because of added safety rules? Because they're just like, I don't think this is necessary. I've been racing without this and this my whole life. Why would I need it?
We've lost a couple racers over the years. I mean, it's not unheard of. Stuff has happened, and that's why safety gets looked at and gets a little tighter every time, and that's, you never want to see it happen.
Right.
And they're being proactive now, which is way better than being reactive. Nobody ever wants to be reactive because that's too late. So
Yep. I agree. Yeah, because I bring that up because I don't know if you've seen some footage or not, but some of these 300-foot tracks the safety is definitely recommended. One of my it's not my track, but it's the track I race at the most often because it's my home track. Thunder Valley is one of those, but whenever some people take it serious and some people don't, but regardless, there's still good racing that goes on there, but I still think that people need to step it up a little bit. That's
right.
my opinion.
I haven't seen any issues with any sand track I've personally looked at closer between out in California, or, say even Gravel-Rama and Clevis there, or your track, or any of them. I mean, they all have, adequate shutdown, guard railing, distance between racers, or that's the stuff we look at most. The conversation always comes up about EMT or have an ambulance on site. I mean, personally, I don't want to ever strap in a car without an ambulance on site, because you never know what could happen, even testing. So
I agree. I definitely agree. Well, yeah. John, you got anything else?
No, we were talking about the tracks, and I went to a couple recently, and one of them, we're watching guys in t-shirts and shorts, and I'm like, I don't know. When we're talking about the safety thing, the difference is some places you go to, like up at Silverback is pretty strict, but others you go to that are more relaxed.
yeah, and I think that's something over time that's more racer. As a couple, in a group starts taking it more serious, it spreads a little bit more. And somebody will mention something to somebody, say, hey, why don't you have your gloves on? Or hey, maybe
Right.
update, them seat belts that are from 95 or stuff like
Yeah,
that.
you might want to change those, or
Yeah, I mean, it gets self-policed, and hopefully then the organizations or tracks start to take it more serious too at that point.
yeah, I think where he's talking is, if they're afraid if you implement certain safety standards, that people will be like, oh, that's too much, and we're going to quit racing and do something else.
Oh, because
That's always the main concern with that. I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
I've
we
had
spend a
those.
lot on the race cars, but it always comes down to yourself. Most guys don't want to spend it on themselves because they can put it in a part, make it quicker, or trailer better, or hauler better. But once again, it comes down to what's a life worth. I mean,
right.
if somebody doesn't want to take it that serious, I don't know how to help them. That's
Yeah.
Right. How do you help
you got to
them?
stand back a little bit and look at what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've had people just complain to me whenever I threw out the idea of wearing long sleeve shirts and pants, and people were just like, "F you," and we'll just stop racing. I'm like, is it that big of a deal? You can take it off when you're not on the track. I mean,
I know
Right.
you only need to wear it for like 300 feet,
Yeah,
man. It's
yeah.
okay.
You'll see the progression of SFI stuff. If this goes out of date, say even the MRA guys, belts or something that goes over 5 years. Well, somebody might have some in their car from 10, 15 years ago. Well, that stuff will get sold off cheaper. I mean, it's coming from the drag racing world, rounding around world. I mean, it's out there. The deals are out there to better
Right.
your program, even if you don't have to be at a certain spec or certain dates, on your safety stuff itself. But to get out there and just physically have the proper equipment on, you getting the nitrous stuff. I mean, you should have SFI 15 or 20, and your head and neck, and a good helmet and
Right.
gloves. Man, that's my one cringe thing. I see guys getting out there and staging without gloves on. That just blows my mind. I mean, you can't work without hands, so I don't know.
Right. I personally don't wear the gloves. I'm in a dragster right now, but when I was doing the altered front engine, I always wore the gloves, the head sock,
well, you're
everything.
now you're just being lazy. Put the gloves back on, John.
It is kind of lazy, I ain't gonna lie.
You know what? Now I'm gonna wear gloves this Saturday when I race my mini bike right here.
You better put gloves on,
I will.
But a short sleeve shirt, right?
No, I'm gonna wear a long sleeve shirt. I'm gonna wear pants. I'm gonna have my boots on. I'm gonna take it serious out here.
Nice.
That's right. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run a good 8.5 seconds in 300 foot with all the safety gear.
And Lord, if you fall down and crash at that high rate of speed, you will be safe.
Yes. Yes. Everything will be all right. But no, I actually do agree. Like, what's the life worth? And we definitely, I would like to see in the sand drag racing world more safety implemented. And I think we've beaten a dead horse with this topic a few times already without Shane. But yeah, I wanted to bring up the MRA safety rules because they take it very, very serious. And you brought up California and Cleves whenever they run Gravel-Rama, and
Yep.
those any track in the West Coast, they take safety very serious.
They do.
Gravel Rama event, they take safety very serious. I can't speak for the rest of the season, but they still do what needs to be done in those times, and I would like to see that more around, especially.
And that might be
especially
some of this, cross pollination. You say we do it. We come play sand here. I know we're gonna have a couple customers. We brought it up already that we're going to play and gonna do some 300-foot stuff. Well, they're all for it too.
Cool.
They might start seeing what we're doing on our end of stuff and start really standing back and looking at theirs too. That's all you can hope for.
Absolutely. Well, Shane, your time with us has been very appreciated and very fun, very enjoyable.
Very informative.
Yes, very informative as well. And we're going to end the interview with this. I'm going to let you end the interview on your, we used to call it one thing. I think we're just going to let you just give a shout out. We used to call it one thing. I don't like calling it one thing anymore. But Shane's shout out is brought to you by Lone Star Graphics, custom photo graphics and design, LoneStarGraphics.info. Go on there, order your custom apparel and gifts today. That's LoneStarGraphics.info. Shane, what do you got for your shout out?
Nothing particular, but I guess my shout out will go towards my dad for getting me into this and really pushing me to be better and just progression. I guess that's the word for it. And I'm always going to push my own boundaries now. So,
yeah. Well, shout out Scott. And without Scott reaching out, this partnership wouldn't have happened. And
correct.
We definitely appreciate you. We appreciate Scott. And I can't wait to meet you guys in July. Isaac's going to see you guys in June. And looking forward to this MRA season. Looking forward to seeing what you guys got in store. And yeah, I'm just really excited for your guys' season looking ahead.
It's a great partnership, and we're going to be happy and can't wait to see where that stuff goes with you guys as well. I mean, it's cool to see you guys growing.
Well, thanks,
hey,
man.
Thanks for all you do.
Absolutely. Thank you. And shout out to Racing in the Dirt. Make sure you guys go check out racinginthedirt.com. Get everything you need right there, from tires to parts. They got you hooked up. So thank you, Shane, once again.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Hey, everybody. This week's episode of Paddle Talk being sponsored by Racing in the Dirt. Parts, equipment, apparel, all for your off-road needs with over 30 years of experience in Wisconsin. Also, from parts such as wheel adapters, hub kits, brake hat kits, brake components, suspension parts, air filters, steering knuckles, axles, and parts, complete chain drives, and parts limiting straps, as well as parachute setups, all the way to ground-up chassis builds, which is currently at over 50 and counting, all built from scratch in the Racing in the Dirt shop. They even have some ATV offerings and UTV offerings, which more to come, such as UTV cages, protective bars, UTV parts, and apparel. Visit them on the web at racinginthedirt.com. Find them on Facebook, or you can call the shop direct at area code 920-693-2000. That's racinginthedirt.com on Facebook, or you can call the shop direct, area code 920-693-2000. Thanks to Racing in the Dirt for sponsoring this episode of Paddle Talk.